welcome back to another YouTube video. Right now I'm in this villa in Havea, somewhere in Spain. You guys can see the background. I'm having el cafecito que nunca falte. And just where I am now, just earlier on, I walked up this private property. Like, the gate was open and I decided to walk up this very steep hill. Now there's two villas and there was one in particular which I wanted to talk. Let me just show you. Look, I'm just gonna show you. Look. So this is the one I wanted to talk to. This is the villa that I'm talking about, and there's one on the other side, okay? So the reason I want you to understand this, let me put the camera back here. And I want you to understand this very clearly. Now, I was walking up this hill and I wanted to speak to the owner of the first villa. Now, the moment I started to go up, they were just leaving. And I kept on walking up. Now you're gonna get to the part where I'm gonna tell you why I wanted to speak to the owner. So I kept on walking up, and then I saw this other villa, beautiful, 2 floors, swimming pool outside, but it was under construction. It's still not built yet. And those construction workers, there was no one there, so I started to record on my phone. I posted it on Instagram. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you'll see what I'm talking about. And I just recorded myself saying that I'm going to buy a house like this one day. I am so confident in myself. And I say that I come here to visualize, to feel, and I'm delusional. And pretty much the whole of my life I've been like that. I've been very delusional with everything that I've done because I no longer think with logic, because there's a lot of things that logic can't put into play. Logic can't put into play that you're going to see this video. Logic can't put into play that one of my videos are going to go viral. Logic can never put into play that will have a community over 600,000 people, because these things you can't predict. You just have to put the work in. Now, I'm going to get to the point where I went up this hill for the second time around with my girlfriend, because we said, you know, let's just walk around here, just see the building and just really feel it. This time around I go up and I see someone watering the plants, and I just ask him, sorry, excuse me, are you the owner? And he says, yes. And I said, I've got a very weird request for you, and it won't surprise me if you say no. I said, can I see your house? Can I go inside your house and see your house? And especially in today's day and age where everyone is just so paranoid, because people are just quite weird, and it's so sad that we live in a world like that. Anyway, and I asked him, and he was so surprised with the request that he couldn't say no. He said he was in shock for like 20 seconds, and he said, yeah, no worries, just come inside. He said, there's still nothing done yet. Like, everything was under construction. There's construction workers going everywhere. Like, there was a massive disco ball in the middle of the staircase. Go inside this beautiful villa, high ceilings, staircase. It's got the sliding doors. It had like the kitchen view straight towards, overlooking the whole sea. Right now you can't see because you have these trees blocking it, but up there is no trees blocking it. You can see this beautiful view. It had like 5 rooms. It had a swimming pool. It had this 2-car garage. It was just stunning. And I was just speaking to him, getting to know him, someone that I didn't know 30 seconds ago, to now exchanging names, exchanging numbers, and just exchanging words, having a conversation. And the reason I'm sharing the story with you is because where I am in my life today will never have happened if I didn't force it to happen. Now, I don't like the word force because it sounds like something uncomfortable and something negative, but forcing something uncomfortable to your benefit, to something positive, is something that most of you guys are not doing. And this is the reason why most of you are frustrated, because you're just waiting on an opportunity to come. You're waiting for something to fall in your lap. You're waiting for some magic thing to happen. You're waiting for someone to save you. No one's coming to save you. And this is something that I realized very early on, especially being a kid who's been dominated by anxiety, which I no longer believe in. I was dominated by these negative thoughts, this big imposter syndrome, self-doubt, no self-belief, very timid, very shy. Like, I couldn't speak to people. Now, to see who I am today, where I can actively have a conversation, put myself in uncomfortable situations, just have a conversation. And this is when I realized that it is not your fault where you start off in this race of life, because we are all playing it. The thing is, most of you guys pretend not to play, or pretend like you're not in it, or you don't want to play, which is why you're just so frustrated all of the time and you just want someone to save you. It's not going to happen. Now, you need to understand that we're all playing this race of life, okay? This is the destination, when in reality life is a journey. There is no destination. This destination is this vision that you see of yourself. And now there's all of these people, all these other players, which are other people. And here you have yourself. And in this race, you end up just beating yourself down. You overwhelm yourself because you start comparing yourself to everyone else who's so much far ahead of you. So you say, why even bother? But in reality, there's no one in this race, because the only person that you're racing against is yourself. Because imagine no one else exists. You remove everyone else, then you ask yourself, how have I progressed in my race? How have I progressed from yesterday to today? How have I progressed from today to last week? How did I progress from today to last year? And as cliche as it may sound, this life is you versus you. Now, where I am today would never have happened if I stayed the same person that I was, this timid person, just waiting for someone to save me. And I always used to think that to be confident, I had to wait for confidence and then I'd be able to do the thing. Then I realized very quickly that doing the thing is what gives me confidence. And that's why, just that small analogy of what I told you, when I went to this villa and I ended up speaking to this man, I realized that you have to create your opportunities, and this is what you have to do in life. And most of the time it's going to be uncomfortable, because guess what, we're scared of rejection, we're scared of how someone is going to view us. That's why we're scared of making mistakes, we're scared of trying. And just look back to when you were a kid. Where was the time in your life where you made the most growth? It was when you were a kid. You learned how to speak properly, you learned different skills, you maybe learned a new language, you learned how to play sports, you learned how to do so many things. But this success, or this medal of you being able to do the thing, it came as a byproduct of you doing something. But you didn't know how to do it the first time. You made so many mistakes along the way. But guess what? You didn't view it in a negative way. You viewed it as, I'm going to be bad at this, but every time I put a rep in, every time I make a mistake, I'm going to learn from this. Because learning is growth, and learning is the same situation, different behavior. But we get to the point where around 16, 17, where all of a sudden we're so scared of making mistakes, because not because we're scared of making mistakes, but we're scared of looking stupid. And this is the thing that stops us from making mistakes. So guess what? It stops us from learning, and it stops us from growing. So this is one thing I realized for myself, that actually I was living my adulthood with the same mentality as which I was in secondary school. I was in secondary school thinking exactly the same at 25. Then I realized, wait, why don't I have any growth? Well, for the same reason, where I haven't put myself in any situation for me to grow. Like, if you want something to change, something must change. So you have to create your own opportunities. And then I realized, wait, I looked in the mirror and I asked myself, am I proud of the person that I see? And the answer was no. I wasn't in shape. I didn't have the communication skills that I wanted. And all I envisioned to create this person that I was proud of, I want you to imagine, like, build a bear, or like build your character. And what you do is, like, you piece all these things together. I want to be able to speak properly, I want to be confident, I want to be able to do this, I want to be able to do that. And then you ask yourself, can I achieve it? And the very simple way to answer that is, has someone else done it? And if someone has done it, then you can do it too. The biggest issue is we put people on pedestals, that this person has that, this person has this. No, if that person has that, you can do the same thing. Now, the difference is some people have more of a natural ability to do something, but that just means you have to work slightly harder for it. And then once I realized this, I said, well, I'm here, I'm living the life where I don't really like, so what have I got to lose? Once I realized that the only guarantee in this life is that we will die, then I realized that actually I have nothing to lose. Because before we do anything, everyone wants a guarantee to make sure that I succeed, that this happens. Are you sure? Is this a guarantee? There is no guarantee in this life. The only guarantee is that one day we'll take our last breath. And that's when I realized I have nothing to lose. So every day I made it my endeavor to become the person that I was proud of. And doing that meant it had to be very uncomfortable. I was someone who was very weak. I remember when I was around 12 years old, I went to the gym. It was full of girls and full of boys around 12 years old, and all of the girls were pushing more than me. Then I said, this can't be the case. I wasn't strong. There was men that were a lot stronger than me. So guess what that done? It put me in a position to become stronger. I went to the gym, failed a lot, made a lot of mistakes. Guess what? It made me stronger. The same with communicating. Now I learned that the art of communicating is a very important life skill. I didn't have it. I didn't just wake up one day and magically learn how to articulate words and have a conversation and speak in an engaging manner. Never was I able to do that. But how did I manage to do it? By putting the reps in, by being able to speak in front of the camera, by being able to put myself in uncomfortable situations, realizing that, wait, if I do this, if I make mistakes, I'm putting the reps in, and guess what? I become more comfortable. When you become more comfortable, it now becomes an identity. And this is when I learned that being uncomfortable is growth. Being uncomfortable is growth, and being comfortable is regression. So that's why I quickly link. I need to be more uncomfortable. But the thing is, humans, we have it so systemized in our mind that we can't be uncomfortable with something negative. No, no. On the contrary, look back when you have grown the most. Just look at your life and see when you've grown the most. It has always been behind discomfort. That's why it's called growing pains. So that's why I follow a system every single day that makes me uncomfortable. So I never stay comfortable. So I chase discomfort. I wake up at 5 a.m. I read books. I go to the gym every single day. I make sure I never break character. Break characters have this vision of who I am and the way he lives, the way he operates, and make sure I live in alignment with that person, with my action thoughts and with my action thoughts and my self-belief. Now, the thing is, the reason I do this is because every time I wake up in the morning, it never gets easier. When that alarm sounds, between stimulus and response, between when I wake up, when I hear that alarm, there's going to be a space, and that space is when I'm thinking, and the only thing I'm thinking about is, "Ah, maybe if I sleep 5 minutes more, I'm tired." All these excuses, which are valid, but guess what? I'm recreating a hard scenario. Because guess what? In life, we will always face hard. The situation might be different, but the feeling is exactly the same because it creates doubt. And when doubt, it creates excuses because we want the easy way out. And I realized this very soon that it's the same thing. I'm going to give you an example of, let me give you an example of hard or sad or heartbreak. I have a dog. Now, let me just say that my dog died and I'm heartbroken. Now, you, on the other hand, you might not care about dogs. You don't have a dog, so you're not going to understand my pain. But your heartbreak could be that you lost your phone and now you feel heartbroken because now you can't communicate with your girlfriend. She's going to be upset. She's going to think you're cheating. And now you're heartbroken. Now, it's the same feeling, but a different situation. Now, I realized that, wait, if athletes train all of their life for a 90-minute match, if Olympians train most of their life for a 9-second show at this Olympics, then why not train in that life? And it's the same thing. You need to create that same feeling for now when you counter it, that situation. So that's what people do in training. They do real life game scenarios and they translate it. When they play the game, is they're now accustomed to it. But the thing is, the way we operate through life is that we just expect to be able to handle situations, and then when we're faced with it, we haven't handled it. So now our level of success will never surpass our level of stress management because we never put ourselves under intentional stress. So that's why I wake up every single day at 5 a.m. because I have those doubts that come in. And guess what? Some days they're stronger than others. And all this does, it replicates those scenarios where you need to overcome that situation for you to become better. In my case, it was, wait, for me to become a confident person, a better speaker, I need to speak in front of the camera more. I need to go out there and speak to random people because guess what? It's going to make me feel more comfortable because I'm doing the repetition. This is the evidence. But there's going to be moments where you want to speak to someone and say, no, actually, I'm not going to speak to them. It doesn't make sense. No, that's cringe. I shouldn't do it. Let me do it tomorrow. And everyone is so comfortable with this thought of tomorrow. And I just want to say, whoever thinks of tomorrow, if you think that you're going to do something tomorrow, you are very selfish. Who can guarantee that you will wake up tomorrow? There's been so many people that had plans for today that didn't wake up tomorrow, that didn't wake up today. Now, this is the thing. You just live so comfortably, know that you have it tomorrow. No, that's why if you believe in God, gratitude is action. Why? Because you wake up, He's giving you the gift of life today, and He says to you, today's your day. And how do you show action? How do you show gratitude? By taking action, showing that you appreciate the life that He's given you. And when tomorrow comes, guess what? If you have another day of life, you take action again. But what happens? Imagine someone gave you a gift, and they're so happy. They're like, look, I brought you this gift. I gave you this coffee. He gives it to you, you just put it to the side. I have it tomorrow. I just have it tomorrow. I just have it tomorrow. It just shows that you don't care. Now, this is the same thing. You're just waiting on tomorrow. In reality, you're just trying to run away from that pain. You're trying to run away from that feeling. Guess what? When tomorrow comes, you're gonna have that same feeling. That's why you need to put yourself in these uncomfortable situations, because you being that person that you are proud of, you being that person that can put themselves and create these opportunities, that's the person that you need. Because you complaining that your life is so miserable, that you're not having any opportunities, that life is so bad. And listen, there is no such thing as a bad life. There's such things as bad moments and good moments. The thing, life is a build-up of moments. You need to start creating more moments, more good moments if you want good moments, or bad moments. The thing is, the law of polarity. For you to know what good is, you need to know what bad is. And for you to know what bad is, you need to know what good is. Now, this is the same thing that I want you guys to understand very, very clearly. That all it takes is one moment to change the trajectory of your whole life. Now, let me give you an example. When men cheat on their wife, it doesn't start all of a sudden that they woke up one day and decided to cheat on their wife. It all starts with those small things that you do. It starts with a small innocent joke, then it starts with a small innocent look, then it starts with a small innocent scroll, then it starts with a small innocent like, and then it gradually builds up to you committing the act. So when you look back, it was a build-up of small things. The same thing with character. You don't randomly just become a very confident person and now you feel ecstatically the most confident person in the world. It doesn't work that way. It's a build-up of small things, of small wins. You wake up slightly earlier. You wake up at the time you say you're going to wake up. You go to the gym. You say all the things that you do, all the things that you say you're going to do. And guess what? When the big things come, and you have all this evidence of things that you said you've gone to do and you end up doing it, then guess what? You end up magically doing the big thing. But it's not that the big thing just came about. It's now that you've lived the art of the compound effect, where you put these small wins, these small wins, these small wins, and guess what? You eventually get through to the thing. Now, this is why building the who is the most important thing, because once you build this character who has this perseverance, who now acts on faith, who now always takes action, that has no fear, then guess what? You go for the how. You could, and the thing is, most people are just think of successes as like, oh, I need money. Success is just being able to overcome everything that's difficult. So everyone needs money, and the thing is, everyone pretends like they want less. Everyone wants more. Everyone just has a certain standard. Now everyone has a job for a reason, because they want to live in a house, they want to buy food, they want to buy their basic necessities. Now everyone is different. The thing is, you don't have to work a job. You don't have to live in a house. You can live on the streets if you want to, and you can eat trees and plants. And I don't think that'll be very pleasant, but something you could do. But you have a certain standard that you want to live up to. It's the same thing. The thing is, many people are just not honest with themselves, which is why they never go for it and attain the things that they want. That's why being honest with self is the most liberating thing that you can do, because that's when you're actually free, when you think and act as one. So once you become the who, the person who is free, then you can translate that into the how. The how that you translate that to can be anything that you want. It could be now that business venture that you do. Anything that you want, you just translate it into that. But many people have this vision of, oh no, this is so saturated, I can't do this. Everything is saturated with average, with people that just are filled with self-doubts, because no one has built the foundation. That foundation is you. Many people try to build things on weak foundations. Once you build a strong foundation, which is you, and you keep going every single day, it's just a moment of time. Not if, but when. And that's when you create your own opportunities. This is why I tell you guys, the life that I'm living today, I look back sometimes and I realize I'm living everything that I once prayed for. And I think, did this happen by luck? I look at the result, then I look at the action that backs it. It was just meant to come. Because sometimes being an ambitious person, we just like to push the bar forward. This is what I want to achieve. This is the next goal. This is the next thing. That we forget to look back and see everything that we've achieved. And then I realized this is just the start. And that's why I'm so confident with myself. That's why I posted that video. And I said that one day I'm going to have this house. You'll see it. Now, if you like this video and if it managed to help you, put down in the comment section below what was your biggest takeaway, what was your biggest reflection. Send this to someone that needs it. Love you guys. This is Soonwa out. Let's go.